But the white man, Samuel Love, married her. And that's when it became against the law when a property owner could marry his property. And her name was, and Gerard Powell, you heard of him? Gerard Powell, basketball football player.
No.
Um, that's one of the grandsons. And our DNA pulled us together because I had pages saying they were my cousin, but I never heard of the pages. But that's who it is. Her
Can
name
you?
was Tabitha
Okay.
Page.
Now that I'm recording, can you go back and say that again? I hate to have you do that,
About
but
Tabitha Page.
no,
Jefferson Davis.
about Jefferson Davis.
Okay.
Okay.
Jefferson Davis came to Texas during the to support Sam Houston during the Texas Revolution, and he was led to Sam Houston's place by Grandma Rebecca, no, great Rebecca Boone. Jefferson Davis, so say raped her. She was 13 years old, and she had grandmother Mary Jane McCardell. McCardell was master's name. She didn't do the Davis. But when she got ready to marry, thank you, my great great grandfather, John Fisher Williams McGowan, Jefferson Davis paid for a wedding. He paid for a wedding. Then Daniel Boone had a son named Daniel Clark Boone, and he was part Choctaw and black, and his wife was Choctaw.
Who? The son.
The son.
Okay.
And he ended up marrying another woman. The first wife died, and he had Grandma Mariah and Grandma Rebecca and other brothers and sisters of theirs. But I have to look at my
So, but this was the son who did that, had the married.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So that was the lineage from the son because that was Daniel Boone's son.
Daniel Boone's son. And most people don't know that Daniel Boone was a mulatto. His daddy was mulatto. His mama was mulatto. But when you see any pictures of him, they look all white.
Yeah.
Oh, so he wasn't white. He was
No,
he was
a
mulatto.
He was a
Wow.
mulatto. And they say he had all them children because he had that big thing and the women were going after him.
What you say,
He got that big thing from the African side, so those women were
Close your ears up. Close your ears up.
Oh, they would be talking and I'd be sleeping like I was sleeping, but I wasn't.
But
So
you
I put
remember all that stuff.
information. I did. And it was only God. And I put all this stuff together. And I told you about Billy D. Williams and Richard Roundtree.
Yeah, what you tell us about
Billy D. Williams was born in Cleveland, Texas. His grandfather, no, great grandfather, was one of the Williams who came to Texas as a slave and was working on the land that we still own. And it was about 15 black men considered runaway slaves came to Tejas, which is Texas, but it was a part of Mexico.
Okay.
And they started the Wild Mustang Camp for John Kahn. And what they would do was go round up all these horses, run them to Galveston, and put them on a barge, ship, and get them to New Orleans. And the horses would be sold on one side, and the African slaves would be sold on the other side.
Whoa.
And we are still on that land 205 years. Because they got there in 1815. John Collins, I got a copy of the 10,000 acre land grant from the Mexican government to John Collins. I got a copy of
John
it.
Collins is who?
John Collins ended up being the plantation owner, and he was my grandmother's grandfather. His son was my grandmother's father. Uh huh.
So has that land, the land has passed down to you?
We see what he did was he had a daughter by this woman. She was a girl. So the last time she saw her mother was at the Congo Square. Her mother had lost her mind because the Boudreaux son-in-law sold her husband, which was Pat, African man, and he was a healer. So this young girl was sold to the Conses, and he got her pregnant. She was 13 or 14.
Come
and
in
she
here.
had grandma, Phyllis. Yeah, Phyllis Carnes. That was her name. And Phyllis Carnes married the first Jackson that ended up being my grandmother's great grandfather.
I
Yeah,
can remember this.
John Jackson. John Johnson, he never saw his father anymore after he left the Congo Square because they were on the Trail of Tears. In Georgia, they were raising cotton for the English. They had built a nice frame home. They had like 12 kids, but the white people ran them out of the home, took the property, and sold the children.
Whoa.
And my grandpa John, the great great grandfather, he was one of the runaways, young age, working on the Wild Mustang Camp,
Yeah.
and he married Phyllis Collins. So Phyllis Collins was John Collins' mulatto daughter, but he gave them land, and that land we still own.
Whoa.
205 years. When my daddy married my mother in 1926, my grandmother said, "No, you all stay on this family land." Because she, in other words, her first cousin, the white girl, because John Collins was her granddaddy. John Collins Jr. was my grandmother's daddy. John Collins married Lily Collins. Yeah, Lily Collins. And no, John Love married Lily Collins. She took sick, and she asked my grandmother, who had been raped by her teacher and had my mother, he was John McGowan, if she would come and take care, help her. Well, John Collins ended up going with my grandmother, and my grandmother's other 6 kids were John Love, not John Collins. John Love was the in-law to the John Collins group. My grandmother was John Collins Sr.'s granddaughter. And through them, we still have the land.
That's awesome.
And then my uncles were laughing at my dad and saying, "You got all these kids, why don't you go on and move to the city and get these kids out the country?" Daddy said, "Nope." He said, "I might be dead and gone, but some big place is going to be built here and people are going to be coming here from all over." Oh, Doc, blah, blah, blah. Today, the largest Boy Scout camp is right down the street from our property, 3,000 acres. And they have built some beautiful places on it.
Whoa.
And that's why I was telling one of the managers that they had to make sure that the whole 3,000 acres got a particular kind of fence on it so the wild hogs won't come under and end up killing some of those boys that's our camp.
Whoa.
Yep. And then old Billy D. Williams, his ancestor was from up there. His people moved to Cleveland. He was born in Cleveland, but he lied and said he was born in New York. Richard Roundtree, born in Midway, Texas. Cousin, lied and said he was born in Philadelphia. But Dennis Edwards, Latimer Brown, and David Ruffin, they acknowledged, because David Ruffin's great grandfather was a jailer up in San Jacinto County, where I'm from, and they moved back to Shelby, Mississippi. Dennis
To Shelby.
Shelby, Mississippi. David Ruffin, that's where his people.
They're right. Shelby's right there.
And when they come to Houston, they were, in other words, he was one of the few that was so say famous that would really be in contact with us. Dennis Edwards, we were in contact because a cousin, Herman Ellis, knew him from when he was in Virginia. When Herman, he was a veteran. When he was living in Virginia, he met him. And then he called me and I showed Dennis how we were related, because I told him our ancestor who came here was Raven Edwards. And the name hit him. So we were cousins, and he recognized us, and he was coming to visit 2 weeks before he died. But the 2 weeks before he died, our cousin Herman died.
Well, Dennis Edwards is Temptation. Okay, that's what I thought. Okay.
And
David Ruffin was Temptation too,
yes.
wasn't he? Okay.
And Vivica Fox, her granddaddy was Joseph Flim. Joseph Flim. Flim is my maiden name. Joseph Flim was my daddy's first cousin's son, Jeff Flim. But she acts like she's not. She's not. So I don't deal.
Well, you know, she's a cousin to. You haven't met Curtis. There's a friend of mine named Curtis who just called me about 6 weeks ago, about 4 weeks, about 3 or 4 weeks. I hadn't talked to him in years. But Curtis is from the other side of Mississippi. I can't remember the name of the town.
Okay.
Vivica Fox is his cousin.
Okay.
And so ever since I've known him, he's always told me, he said, yeah, Vivica Fox, Vivica Fox. He brings up Vivica Fox.
Well, you see.
So you need to meet him.
Yeah. So we can break down.
So you can break that down, because Vivica Fox is
he might be
his cousin.
On her mother's side.
Okay.
But her dad, Johnny Flynn, and the Temptation is David into the stuff.
Yeah.
That way,
Oh, I didn't know that he was related to somebody. I didn't know that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You need to talk to Curtis. And he was supposed to be here, but I can't get a hold of him now. But you need to really talk to him, because I'm gonna put him on the phone with you so I can get a hold of him, because every time I talk to him, he brings up Vivica. He said, yeah, I know, and Vivica's his brother. And I think him and Vivica's brother were supposed to be going out. I think that's what he told me. They were supposed to be going out hunting last week. And I told him, I said, well, I got this thing going on here. He said, well, I would have to hang around for a few days and then come to your thing. And then, so when I was trying to get him on the phone with Darryl, but I could never get a hold of Darryl. So that's kind of how that whole thing blew up. And he could never talk to Darryl because he wanted to talk to Darryl about something before he came here. And then the last few times I tried to call him last year, I couldn't get a hold of him. But yeah, you need to talk to him, because they got a bed and breakfast over in wherever that new plant is. They got a new plant over there that makes
Yeah.
Yokohama tires,
Yeah.
and it's over on the other
Yeah.
side of the state. I can't remember the name of the town, but he got it.
Wow.
Him and his family got a whole bunch of land, and they got this plant over there. I mean, I'm sorry, not a plant. They got this bed and breakfast over there.
Bread and breakfast,
Yeah,
right.
bed and breakfast over there,
That's great.
and it's beautiful. I seen pictures of it. It's a beautiful place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to share also that my aunt, my daddy's baby sister, was a veteran, World War II. She was dating Reverend Franklin, Aretha Franklin's dad.
Okay.
And she was telling my mom and dad that she, in other words, she came home early and went in the room, and Sam Cooke and Aretha were together. And Aretha's oldest son was Sam Cooke's. And she refused to marry Reverend Franklin. And
Wait a minute. Who was in the bed with
Sam Cooke was in the bed with Aretha.
Aretha?
She was only 14 or 15.
But you say she refused to marry.
My aunt, Luella Flynn.
Oh, refused to marry Franklin. Okay.
Refused to
Okay.
marry Reverend Franklin.
Okay.
Because she said she just didn't like what she had seen.
Okay.
And that, and then Dennis, you know, I told you, he said she was a freak.
Yeah.
And he got away from her, and that's how he ended up being with the Pointer girl, and the Pointer girl got him introduced to drugs. Because Dennis was singing.
Oh, from the Pointer Sisters?
Yeah. Dennis was singing, he married one of them. Dennis was singing gospel music. Good guy.
Whoa. Oh, that's some history.
And then this friend of mine had called Mr. Jackson and told him she had written songs, wrote about 10.
Uh-huh.
He encouraged her to come on to California. She said, Velma, come. I trust you come go with me. I said, you need an attorney. You need to get all this stuff copyrighted. I said, no. He said he's going to give me some money and blah, blah, blah. Well, we got there. He was out playing golf with Red Fox. And that's when I told you Red Fox told me I should be a comedian because I was telling some jokes. Old man Jackson got that girl's music. Real respectful to us. You know, he didn't get out of the way, and the guys that were playing golf with him, Red Fox was nice, they were all nice. But she didn't get a dime, and she died of a broken heart. Because all those last songs that Michael Jackson sung, and they went up, she wrote them.
What?
Yeah. And I told her, I said, you didn't listen. I told you to get an attorney. I told you to write the music, have it copyrighted before you submitted it to the Jackson. And the daddy was the one, Michael Jackson didn't touch it. It was the daddy. Oh, this is nice. I'm going to get you some money. I'm going to get you. He never gave her that. And she lived in Houston. I can't remember where she was from.
Wow.
Wow. My sister Myrlie, James Brown wanted to marry her, but she refused to. Or she would. So they dated a while, but then she said she saw white women after him. But his mother and Merck were very close.
Who, James Brown's mother? Okay.
And that's how we met Johnny Taylor. Johnny Taylor never was disrespectful.
And this is how you met Johnny. Your story. And this is how we met Johnny Taylor.
Yeah. James Brown called me up one day. Hey, girl. I said, yes, who is this? This is James Brown, girl. I want you to talk to your sister to marry me. I really love Merle. I say, Merle is she's her own person. You can't encourage her to do nothing that her mind and her heart is not telling her to do. And her name was Merle Jean Slim. She married Maxim Kilpatrick, whose grandfather had donated the land for Prairie View. College. Uh-huh.
Her grandfather.
No, her husband,
Her husband's.
Madison Kilpatrick,
Uh-huh.
his grandfather,
His grandfather.
had donated the land.
For Prairie View.
Mm-hmm. They called it the Prairie View Negro Normal College.
Well, Prairie View, the city itself,
Mm-hmm.
is mixed? It's not.
It was started by a white guy. I went to a meeting last, no, about 6 months ago.
Uh-huh.
And the guy who was the president over Texas A&M, and Texas A&M was built on the land that Ken Peterson's grandfather, great-grandfather donated. And see, what people don't realize, this black man had walked Texas, begging for money to build 3 colleges, supposed to have been for blacks. The University of Texas in Austin.
Uh-huh.
They built it for whites, and then had this black woman.
Wait a minute. He went and got the money for the land for the
college.
For the college.
Built for black kids.
And so he got the money.
He got money.
And then he went and bought the land.
No. What he did was, now not Mr. Kilpatrick. Mr. Kilpatrick was a horseman.
Uh-huh.
He would go to herd horses to Prairie View, do blacksmith and all that stuff.
Okay.
But this particular man, and I got a book he's in, he walked all over begging for money
Okay.
from blacks.
Okay.
So that they could build colleges.
Okay.
Because, they just had the little schools.
Right.
So he got the money and gave it to whoever told him to get it. I have a book with it in there.
Uh-huh.
But they built the University of Texas in Austin and had this black woman that come from Fisk University, and they built a small college called Houston Tillotson.
Houston what?
Houston Tillotson.
Okay, I've heard that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a college.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that was the black one. The big, nice one, it was the white one. But this man had begged for the money for both to be built.
But how could they just take his money and then build a white college?
Easy, just like Marcus Garvey on the Back to Africa movement. That man had raised over millions of dollars.
Uh-huh.
And this white man came to him and told him when he was going to prison, you put the money in my hand, don't put it in your people's hands because they're going to lose it. He built a top college up in Maine. Marcus Garvey never got that money back. They said they think that's really what broke his heart. Marcus Garvey.
Wow.
Back to Africa movement. So that's the way they were doing our people. Divide and conquer. You don't trust your people. You trust us. But they take the money and it's gone.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So this man got the money for Texas A&M. Oh, Sam Houston State. That's the college I attended. It was supposed to have been for blacks. But they took the money and made a little school. Sam Houston School. Normal school. For kids, not college students.
Uh-huh.
And that's where Van Nickerson's grandfather, when he finished in Camilla, he went up there and finished at that little elementary, junior high school, I guess. And then he went to Bishop College, and then they closed it. He went to Prairie View and graduated. So he was teaching in Cold Springs, and this white man saw him and asked him if he would consider selling insurance. He got him to move to Houston, 3rd Ward. He started selling insurance because most blacks don't know before then, before the 1920s, blacks couldn't buy insurance. Nobody would sell blacks insurance. You couldn't get no kind of insurance. So he moved to Houston, was doing a great job, and the Klan started burning crosses on his property. So he moved to California. He got 2 railroad cars, put all his stuff in it, and his wife and children, and moved them to California. He started the Golden State Insurance
Mutual, right.
And they said by the mid-1920s, he had the largest black-owned business west of the Mississippi. Now, he was my grandmother's first cousin through the Boone side.
There's no way I'll follow all of that unless I do this right here.
On the Boone side, Melinda Boone married William Nicholson, and this particular guy, William Nicholson Jr., was the one who started the Golden State Insurance in
Okay.
California.
And that's Van's grandfather. Okay.
And they built the Watts, what was it, the Watts Quarters? Yeah, that was named. And yeah, in his honor. Yeah. So it's amazing. And that's why I tell these young people they need to know their family history. Because if they
Wow.
don't know it, they can't share it.
Wow. This.
And
How you remember all of this is crazy.
now, my brother-in-law, Bobby Berlin Westmoreland, we call him Bobby. His grandmother was Jack Johnson's first cousin. And she was one of the first women to graduate from Prairie View, and I got her picture. She was one of the first women to, because the first 2 or 3 classes of graduating students from Prairie View were men.
All men.
And she was
But they was
Jack
black
Johnson.
men, black men, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
Prairie View.
Okay.
So she was Jack Johnson's first cousin, and Jack Johnson was the boxer.
Right. So, but when I was asking before, you know the girl Sandra Bland. She got pulled over. I think we was in Prairie View, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was in Prairie View.
So they got white policemen there. So it's not a black town, though, right?
No, it's not. No, the college was.
The college was black.
Just the college was
But the
black.
city never was
But it was
black.
all black. It
Okay.
never was all black. It
Okay.
was a man from up north came down and hooked up with some others here after the Texas Revolution, and ended up. That's how it ended up. Prairie View came about. They just put names on different pieces of property and started little towns.
Okay.
But it was a black college, but not a black town.
Not a black town. So, but why would they be so hostile to black people when you got so many black people there at that college?
Because a lot of whites were jealous of blacks. I'll give you an example. Now, my grandmother could write. She was a midwife. She wrote, spelled real well. My mother's mother. But me, born in 1950, got 2 birth certificates. Velma Elaine Slim, 8/29/1950. But also, my real birthday, 9/13/1950, Valeria Elena Fleckham. So I had to use 9/28 because that was my real name. Now, old as I am now, almost 70, I got to go back home this coming up week and get a certified copy of my birth certificate and have the lady that's going to do it, a man, whoever do it, they got to write me a letter explaining why. And I got to send that to the Social Security office so I can get clarity on my correct birthday.
Whoa.
So that's why, see, they had all the jobs then. You didn't have no black people working in courthouses and stuff down here. And they misspell and
they would just misspell your names and
a lot of that happened.
because a lot of kids I grew up with, they found out when they were one of the kids I remember, he was getting ready to go to college. All his life we would call him Vertus.
Yeah.
But when he got ready to go to college, he had to have his birth certificate, and they called him. They found out his name was Victor.
See?
They switched. They switched the letters around. But that's what the birth certificate said.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't know that until he had to go to college.
Yeah. Yeah.
Trying to eat.
Then I met today
Okay.
Mr. Spencer,
Uh-huh.
who was the technician for doing movies,
Uh-huh.
and he did all the research and did Ledbetter and a lot of other movies. And I got his telephone number. He's from Austin, Texas, and he's gonna get with Van and see if Van want him to help him do the documentary on his grandfather.
I need to talk. You pause this.